Welcome into another episode of the Talk Anime Podcast.
I'm Justin. He's Jared. And today we have a special guest, Mr. Austin Schindel from the Unbirthday Podcast. Welcome in,
He
Austin.
returns.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for coming on.
What are we doing today, Jared?
We've got a fun tier list for this week's episode. We're going to be doing the best anime villains.
Excellent.
Not really ranked by power rankings or anything like that, because that would be all over the place, but just
our own opinions.
Just the best.
Our own opinions, which are, canon.
Yeah,
officially. Anything we rank, that's just how it works. It's just automatically, it applies to the entire anime world. So if we say it, that means you have to think it.
Yeah, you have no opinions at all.
Yep, no opinions.
The
just
list.
The three of us.
Man, you guys are really threatening.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That's how we do. That's that vibe we throw out.
Yep, threatening.
That's what I'm saying. You guys are just being really threatening, but this is how it is.
This is how it is.
This is exactly how it is. That's just the way it is. Things
Sorry
will never
about
be
it.
the same.
Not really.
Oh yeah. That's
all
just
right.
the way it is.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Copywritten. Don't get a copyright strike on you.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
you know better than that.
I know. I gotta be careful. It's been a couple weeks.
It has. But this should be a fun one. We got a lot of great villains to go over here. I do apologize if I don't know the exact names of a few.
Well, I think that's okay, because I think there's going to be times where you're not going to know things. There's going to be times I'm not going to know things, but Austin knows all. That's why he's here.
Exactly. That's why we brought him on. He knows everything.
Damn.
Yeah.
A lot of faith being put in. A lot of faith being put in me. Wow.
Help us, Austin Schindel. You're our only hope.
Yes.
I don't
let
want
us down.
I don't want that.
Anyways.
You got it.
Sorry.
Well,
anyway, let's
Heroes don't have a choice, man.
I guess not. I guess I'll just have to put you guys on my shoulders and carry you guys through and all of these villains all by myself.
Be the MJ to our Scottie Pippen and
how dare
Dennis
you
Rodman.
belittle Scottie Pippen? How dare you belittle Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman?
And Dennis Rodman, that's it.
After watching The Last Dance, I have a whole new respect for Dennis Rodman, but we're not here to talk about The Last Dance.
Absolutely.
We are not. We're here to talk about anime villains. Let's jump right into it.
All right. Well, first off, we got Madara Uchiha from Naruto Shippuden. So, Og, do you want to start us off on this one?
So, if he would have been the penultimate villain for all of Naruto, he would have he would be an S tier. I
agree.
You find out that he's responsible for the nine-tailed fox that literally ravages the village hidden in the leaves. He also that very spirit is locked inside of Naruto. So there's this whole thing about this guy killed Naruto's dad and destroyed the village and has been started the Akatsuki and has been basically building this entire ploy to create a new world order where he was going to capture all of the Jin Cherokee to send them across the world, cause an entire calamity of an event that would cause everyone to surrender themselves to him.
Yep.
But he's not the main villain of the show. And it's so frustrating that they throw him off to the side.
It's so pathetic how they end up.
It's so pathetic what they do with him.
It's really sad. It's really unfortunate because he is a fantastic villain.
Was the final villain, he would have been an S. But since that happens, I put him at a B. It makes me so mad. Okay. It makes me so mad. I'm so mad.
I'm trying to think. So, trying to think if I agree with you entirely on that analysis.
Well, I mean, it sucks because you find out that he's just been working for this alien lady from the moon.
It doesn't make sense, but I don't.
Maybe an A. I'd say a A or a B for me, but it's really annoying that they have built this guy up throughout the whole series as being the evil genius orchestrating every little bit. And then you find out, he's just a lackey for another person.
I would say Well, yes, he is a lackey for another person, and it's really dumb that that's how the story goes, and that the main villain is actually like somebody that wasn't ever talked about in like the history of ever in any of the movies, except for maybe like one or two of the movies. That's really annoying. But as far as Madara and on a whole, I would say I'd probably give him an A. I'm with you on this one where he doesn't get S tier because he's not the main villain. He turns out not to be the main villain.
So frustrating.
But I would say A tier because he is mostly successful in terms of carrying out his plot. That's the main reason why I say I think he's actually successful. Or why I give him an A is because actually his plan is well thought out. It's executed to near perfection, and then there's just a whole bunch of tomfuckery that basically just is like, I don't know. The ending of Naruto is very kind of disappointing, but and I think a lot of it is for convenience sake in terms of how the plot ends or how the main conflict ends. But I think for the most part, I give Madara an A as opposed to a B. I understand why you give him a B because it's really stupid how he ends up going out and not being the real main villain. But I think overall, as a whole, I think I give him an A.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating. Like, oh, it's awful. It makes me so mad. I'm still upset about it.
I agree with all of the statements above.
You've definitely watched all of
I've seen all
Naruto.
of Naruto and know exactly what both of you are talking about.
Yes.
So we decide on A tier?
That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
A tier.
We can still change it.
Yeah, I mean we can reevaluate this at the end.
Yes. Next we have Akihiko
Dio.
Kayaba.
Oh no, it's Dio, isn't it?
No. It is not.
Oh, okay.
What? I have Dio as next. Okay, whatever. Anyway.
Oh. Interesting.
Do I have the old list?
I don't know. Do I have an old list too?
You shouldn't.
I don't know. The second one I have on here is Dio after Madara.
Interesting.
So I don't know how that happened, but okay. Anyway, we'll go with your list, Jared.
Okay. So he's the main villain from the first season, or first arc, I should say, of Sword Art Online.
Yes.
He's the one who traps them in the game to begin with.
Yeah. What's his name again? I'm sorry, I gotta look him up again. I don't remember.
Akihiko or Kayaba.
Akihiko Kayaba.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, like I understand, like I know who he is. I've seen Sword Art Online.
I mean, he traps a bunch of young adults and kids in a video game, and
yeah,
like what, thousands of them die?
Yeah, I mean he's pretty messed up, and then
he puts himself in the game, and then he cheats, but then he ultimately loses even at his own video game. Like the creator loses at his own game. Like that's pretty weak.
He fries his entire body.
Yeah,
he fries his entire body, and honestly, like maybe I'm just the only one that thinks this, but his motives aren't exactly very clear as to why he did that.
No.
My opinion of Sword Art Online is very negative. I feel like I don't know how.
I'm pretty sure that's everybody here. I mean, Sword Art Online, there are many problems that I have with it. But I think
he doesn't even allow the people to get to the last level of the game before he even does the big reveal. I put him at a solid D tier.
Honestly, if we had a trash tier, I'd say just throw him in the trash. But
we have Boruto tier.
We do have Boruto tier. I honestly think he's Boruto tier, if you ask me. But
I mean, I'm fine with it putting him in Boruto tier.
The fact that he is in the fact that Sylvester Stallone, the villain of Spy Kids 3D, is more intimidating than him should tell you everything you need to know about him.
Yeah, really. He's really not that intimidating of a villain. I think his plan is kind of stupid / half cooked.
Yeah.
I don't particularly find him very threatening as a whole. I think he's kind of and he loses at his own game in which he's even cheating. So that's pretty pathetic, to be honest.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Yeah, so honestly, I think he's Boruto tier, but yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Okay,
Boruto tier, he will go. All right, next we have All for One from My Hero Academia.
Okay. So I know we've said this before on our podcast. Austin in particular has said this, that all of My Hero Academia's villains are kind of boring. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily boring, but I would certainly say that they're definitely not they're not very well fleshed out. And I think that's the point. That's the case to be made for All for One as well. Because on the whole, he's a very intense and threatening villain. He's able to steal other people's powers and use them for his own. He's also able to basically give other people's powers to other beings too. That's how he creates the Nomu. But on the whole, I do think that he's very much you don't really understand what he is, I guess. On the whole, you don't
he's
really
not very fleshed out.
Yeah, he's just not a very well fleshed out character. I think he's a really cool character on the whole, but I don't think that if I had to rank him, I would say B tier. Yeah, I think B.
I would say C, because
I was gonna say C as well.
When he shows, he just shows up. There's kind of a build up, but there's no true build up, because he just shows up. And in terms of design, he's wearing a suit. He is wearing a dumb helmet, and then when they rip his helmet off, he's just got flesh. He doesn't have eyes. He has a mouth.
Yeah.
And he gets beaten, and he goes to jail. He seems no interest in leaving jail, and he's telling Shigaraki hey, so take all the time you need. I've given you everything you need. He's very calm and cool and collective, and that's kind of nice and refreshing from a villain. But I just don't know. He's just boring to me, and he just shows up, and he's only in there for 2 episodes.
Okay, fair enough.
And I don't know. I feel I don't know. I feel there wasn't enough build up to him. And then when he is on their center stage, he isn't there long enough.
Yeah. I can agree with that for sure.
You also don't know why he does any of the things he does. And then when you get a little bit of his backstory, you're oh, so this guy was the underground leader of Japan, the ruler of Japan for a while until the superheroes beat him. That sounds great. Can we hear more about that? Why did he do that? How did he get into that?
On that, I think that's a very good point. I just think that in terms of, go ahead, Jared.
I was gonna say it really feels like he's just being set up for later on down the road in the series.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, definitely.
To be something like an immovable object, you know?
Yeah, I agree. With that.
But we don't get enough of him in it. He was already previously pretty much defeated by All Might, and then he was defeated by All Might again without One for All. He didn't have all of his power at that point, and he still beat him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I think C tier is where he kind of belongs.
I'm fine
for now.
with C tier, honestly. That's fine.
Because he's kind of an enigma for the most part.
Also, the fact that he severely almost killed Best Genus, who is one of the best, that he loses an entire rank for me. You don't attack Best Genus.
You don't mess with Best Genus.
Damn right you don't.
You really don't.
Fair enough. All right, yeah, that's fine. C tier. I'm not gonna fight on that. It's a difference of 1 rank. That's fine.
Yeah, I feel if we got more about him, then we would be oh yeah, this makes sense. But
yeah,
unfortunately, we do not.
Nope.
All right. Next, we have the Anti-Spiral from Gurren Lagann.
Yes.
This is a weird one.
Yeah, this is kind of an odd one. I almost completely forgot about him, to be honest. I had to really.
Well, it's the main villain.
I know, and I completely forgot about it. It's been a while since I've watched Gurren Lagann, though, so to be fair.
I mean, they're really interesting.
Yeah.
They remind me of the putties from Power Rangers.
Yes.
That's like when I saw them, I was like, wait, are we going into Power Rangers territory?
Yeah, right.
Like, oh man, are we gonna get the putties and Rita Repulsa? I got excited a little bit, but
right. I mean, the anti-spiral is like ridiculously strong, like on a god tier level for power.
Yeah.
But they were defeated. So
yeah, they do end up getting defeated.
I mean, that's the case for like all
but that's
going to
be most of the villains here.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if we can necessarily. I think maybe we could. Go ahead. Okay, I was gonna say. I mean, I think basing them off of whether or not they're defeated or not is kind of
that's
pointless.
Silly to do that.
We could rank them based off of like how they were defeated. Like, were they defeated in a cool manner, or did they just kind of go out like a bitch? But
right.
I
don't. So we're going like best villains. So as for like personality, there's no like personality that makes you really hate the anti-spiral. They just want to destroy like everything.
Yeah, that's what they are. I mean, it's just
I would honestly put them like D tier. I think.
Yeah, honestly,
you get even less personality out of them than All for One.
Yeah, and they even have a face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think honestly for these, I would think probably like a D tier as well.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Cool. Next up, we have Team Rocket.
Oh man,
S tier, baby, S tier.
Yeah. They're trying. So,
I'm joking about the S tier, but.
I gotta give it to the fact that they never give up.
No,
they don't.
You gotta give it
they
to them.
Always
it's been over 20 years of them trying to capture the same Pikachu, and they still are on that same shit.
Like, and the thing that's so funny is like they have a rarer Pokemon in their in leagues with them, and they don't even seem to care.
No,
right?
Like they have a Meowth that literally learned and taught itself how to talk. And they're like, we don't care about you. We just want this Pikachu.
Right?
Oh, man. Team Rocket's so much fun as villains.
They're so much fun.
I want to say A tier.
I also like how in like future like appearances, like they'll just show up. And if it's like something that's way too dangerous for them, they're just like, hey guys, we just did our regular cameo for this episode. Bye. And then they disappear.
Yes. Team Rocket blasting off again. Plus their theme song is fantastic.
Of course, they have to do it every time they enter.
Do it every time.
It
never changes.
It's like a combination of Tuxedo Max entrance in Sailor Moon with like a Power Ranger style song that comes into play when they walk in.
Plus, whenever you hear the you know exactly what's coming.
Oh yeah.
You
know, yeah. I think A tier. I'm fine with A tier. I love Team Rocket.
Man, A tier.
What do you think, Austin?
See, like for like the memes, I would definitely put them at like an S or an A tier, but like in terms of them as true anime villains, they're barely villains. They're basically like
they're comic relief.
They're like
they are comic relief, but I enjoy them.
Yeah, they're like comic relief. I would definitely put them down in like Boruto tier because they literally never are successful.
Wow, I don't think I could settle with Boruto tier.
I'm talking about them just basically on the rank of anime villain, because if you put them at A, you're saying they're just as bad and evil as Madara Uchiha.
They absolutely are.
They're not.
They're not. They really aren't.
They really aren't. I would definitely put them below Boruto, like not below Boruto, but they should be like in their own category of barely a villain, basically a speed bump.
Yeah.
Because like they really
agree with that, but we don't have a tier for that.
I would say Boruto them, but like because they're never a like an actual force, like a wall that stops the hero.
But it's hilarious.
They're just a speed bump. Like, oh, we have to get over this every episode. So, I don't know. If you had Giovanni on here, I'd put Giovanni higher, because Giovanni literally makes Mewtwo.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is true.
And, like, creates this entire criminal organization. So, I don't know.
Jared,
If I'm going at this from an actual standpoint, that'd be my...
yeah,
that'd
I
be my
mean,
pick.
if from an actual
Oh.
standpoint, yeah, fine. But I like the
Okay,
memes.
Boruto tier.
All right, Boruto tier it is.
All right. Next up, we have Cell from Dragon Ball Z.
Like,
All right, S tier, honestly. yes,
he's my favorite out of all the Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
villains.
Honestly, like I
Oh.
love Cell.
I like Cell more than Frieza, to be
Yeah, I
honest.
love Cell way more than Frieza.
Because,
See,
like...
I like Frieza more.
Really?
Yeah, I think he was more despicable than Cell.
I don't know, because, like... I don't know, like, Cell is just like a petri dish of all the fighters, so he knows everyone's techniques. And
Yeah.
then he, like, starts out as just, like, a mosquito sucking everyone dry.
That's
And then just
true.
getting fatter and fatter. And then
Right.
eventually he gets, like, the perfect form. And, like, that part when, like, Vegeta goes Super Saiyan and then, like, is super cocky and then kicks Cell. And, like, Cell doesn't even, like, react
do
at all.
anything.
I'm just like, damn.
I mean, like, Goku came up with a plan to beat Cell. They knew how they
Yeah.
were going to beat Cell from the
they
get-go
had an
with
idea how they
Gohan.
were going to do it.
They
Yeah.
had no idea how they were going to beat Frieza. They
So I'm
tried
trying to think
and
about this.
tried, and it
a
took
little bit.
Frieza murdering Krillin
Yeah.
for Goku to finally just go Super Saiyan, and that did
Well,
him
and I'm
in.
trying to
the
think.
first time.
I'm trying to think. Well, we're going back to the anime villain. So I'm trying to think in terms of who is more evil, Cell or Frieza. I'm gonna go with Frieza actually. So actually, I take my rank back. I think honestly, Cell might be actually an A tier, even though I like Cell a lot more. I think that if we're putting them in terms of for ranks, I think Frieza actually would go above Cell, as much as I don't like that.
Frieza
I
also
think-
trained and came back from the dead.
Yeah, that
Frieza
too.
also destroyed the entire Saiyan race.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
also destroyed and
Their
plenty
whole
others
planet,
too.
and
Yeah.
who knows how
Plenty
many other
others.
planets.
And he enslaved, a good portion of the galaxy.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think Cell would be an A tier.
I think he's an A tier.
I think he's an A tier.
Are we just gonna go ahead and put Frieza at S tier then?
Yeah, I mean we basically just discussed Frieza. I mean,
Might as well toss him up there in the S
might as
tier.
well move him up there in the S tier.
All right. Next we have, still going in that same universe, King Piccolo.
King Piccolo.
B.
Yeah, man.
B or C.
I think C.
I think C.
Like, he's
He's
not
Killed
even
Krillin.
he
Yeah.
killed Krillin.
and he's not even complete. He's only
He's-
half of a Namek,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, he's yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I honestly would actually stick him down in D tier.
really?
I'll put him
Yeah.
at C.
I think C. I think C. Although I do think the way that he gets taken. Actually, no. Put him at D tier. He gets beaten by being trapped into a rice cooker. No. Put him at D tier.
Sorry, King Piccolo. D tier you go.
Goodbye.
Next we have Dio.
S.
Dio.
S.
Oh,
S.
this is an easy S.
Absolutely an S.
Especially since I just recently finally finished that whole arc with
The
Dio.
Egyptian arc.
Yeah.
Nice.
But when you're introduced to the world,
Yes.
Yeah, the world.
Oh, that's an insane stand.
Yeah, that was dope.
Oh.
yeah, it's like the best fight in all of JoJo's probably. But like
It's
when
up
you're
there.
when you're introduced to him, he like is kicking a dog, he burns it alive, then he
Alive.
kisses the love of Jonathan's life,
Yeah.
and then
Steal you, girl. And then
and
he
then-
tries kill his dad.
He poisons his dad, then he puts the mask on, turns into a vampire, then kills the dad, burns the house down.
Yeah, and creates a legion of vampires.
Then he gets his head chopped off.
Yep.
Then he cuts off Jonathan's head, puts his head on top of his head.
Takes over his body.
Takes over his body, comes back to Earth, goes to Egypt.
Yep. Almost kills Jotaro.
He almost kills Jotaro, Jotaro's mom, Joseph Joestar, and he does kill what's his name with the pink hair?
Kakyoin?
Yeah,
Kakyoin.
Yeah.
He kills him. He almost kills almost the entire party just from like recruiting other people at stands. Yeah.
Dio's S tier.
Yeah, Dio's an S tier. He's terrifying.
And he's great. I'd follow him.
Dio's the best.
He's out of all the anime villains, he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like
he's
there's
definitely one of my favorites.
It's no competition. He is out of all the anime villains, he is my favorite.
He's one of my favorites as well.
He's one of my favorites. I don't know if I would say he is my favorite, but yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites.
He's just so evil.
He's super evil.
All right, next we have Esdeath from Akame ga Kill.
I don't know who this lady is.
So she's the main villain in the entire series. She has like an ice power, and then she just like is pretty freaking ruthless for the most part. Except for the main character of the show, she's in love with him.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's pretty. She's fairly sadistic for the most part. Like she's a good villain.
She's a pretty crazy villain. I think it's a little bit kind of lame that she's just in love with the main character, but whatever.
I want to say C tier.
Honestly, I was thinking D myself, but you're the one that really likes. I'm not gonna pretend that. Like I don't think I've actually finished Akame ga Kill. I think I only watched like 1 or 2 episodes, and I wasn't like overly enthralled by it. But so honestly, I leave that to you.
Let me look at the rest of the list here.
Like honestly, like in comparison to the rest of this the rest of this list and who we've got on here, I don't necessarily think. Like I don't know.
Like I said, I don't know who this person is, so.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll split the difference and throw her down in D tier for now.
That's fine.
All right. Take it away, Justin.
Yeah, so next we have Pain from Naruto Shippuden. So, honestly, like, I know, Austin, you don't like Pain. I love Pain. I
like Pain.
You do like Pain? I thought you didn't like Pain.
No, I don't. I don't have any, like, horrible feelings. The only thing I do have is hatred for him for one specific reason.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's everyone who is a fan of the show.
I agree, but oh man, I just think Pain is such a cool. I think that his concept is so cool. I think
the fact that there's 6 of them and there's just one guy controlling all 6 bodies.
Yeah, and I think his origin is really cool. I think like how like I just think he's a very cool villain on the whole. I think the fact that he has the what is it? What's the eye called that he has, Austin? I can't remember.
It is called the Renegon.
Yeah, the Renegon. I think this Renegon is amazingly awesome, and I think that was a really cool thing that they introduced into Naruto. I love that. I think that, the fact that he's basically able to level, not basically, he does. He levels the entire Leaf Village, and that's pretty insane. And basically, if it weren't for Naruto, would have basically destroyed everything. I think he's a really cool villain. I don't know if I put him at S tier or A. I think I put him at A tier just because, again, he's like, I don't know, the way he loses is kind of lame. Like the end of that's the one complaint I think I have to that whole arc, is that it's a little lame how he ends up kind of losing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think it's interesting, like the fact that like they use him to show you what like the horrors of war does to somebody.
Yeah.
Because he's like his entire characteristic is like he is the result of what happens when you're a child dealing with war.
Yeah.
And like
your family, your village, and you're left with basically nothing in your place.
Like his point of view is very understandable as to why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And so it works pretty well. For me personally, I would put him at like a B.
Okay. I still think he's an A tier just because I think a lot of the fight scenes and stuff are really cool, and I think that in comparison to previous villains, he's one of the few that have like really, really, really pushed Naruto to like his absolute limits. Like Naruto has to perfect Sage Jutsu in order to actually beat him, and he has to do it in such a short period of time, and it's really cool what he ends up doing in order to beat him. And the fight scenes are fantastic.
Also, the fight scene between him and Hinata is like amazing. Because she does like actually well. So
it's heart wrenching too. It really is. I honestly think A for myself. Yeah,
I'll agree to that. That's fine.
A tier he goes, because I do not know Naruto, unfortunately. Really need to watch that.
You really do.
It's good.
I know. All right, next we have Ragyo Kiryuin from Kill la Kill.
Okay.
Man, she's... So, her premise is she wants to take over the world with the infused fibers of these clothes.
Yeah.
And she's pretty horrible. Like, she tries to murder one of her daughters, manipulates the other one.
Yeah,
so then tries to kill her.
Yeah.
Later on.
I think she's very manipulative. I think that so again, this is another thing that I have with Kill la Kill. I don't particularly care for it because I think the premise is dumb. But I think in terms of like, I think it's just dumb that they're just trying to upgrade their clothes and they do this.
Yeah, man.
Anyway.
I think about this person, but all I'm reading is it says she eventually dons the wedding dress that gives her an ability called absolute domination. What the hell am I reading?
Yeah.
Kill la Kill's a weird thing.
Kill la Kill is bizarre, Austin. It's very bizarre. Overall, I just think her plan is stupid. But you know what, Jared? Go ahead and rank it, and then explain it to me, and then I'll try and build off of that.
I mean, I don't feel like she's a better villain than Esdeath, so I'm fine with a D tier.
Okay, good. That's fine. D tier's fine.
Okay.
All right, because I really wasn't not sure how I was gonna go with that one.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. She's a silly villain. Like, she's evil, don't get me wrong, but
just the fact that I read a sentence that says she dons a wedding dress that gives her the ultimate ability. I'm like, what the fuck is this show?
It's all about clothes, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's literally all about clothes. It's really weird.
I'm good. Thanks, though.
Yeah. You ain't missing much, if you ask me, but...
Not at all.
I'll trust you.
All right, who we got next here?
Og, you want to introduce this one?
So this is, if it's the same one for everybody, it's Grimmjow from Bleach.
Yeah, Grimmjow. Yep. I love Grimmjow.
I'm actually not a huge fan of him.
No?
I'm not a fan of Grimmjow, but if you would like to talk about him, go ahead.
Go ahead, Justin.
No, go ahead.
It's all yours.
Go ahead and start. It's fine.
So Grimmjow is an Espada. He is one of the top Espadas. He goes from losing an arm to getting his arm back from Orohime. He is previously a tiger, like a hollow tiger, but eventually gets a humanoid-esque form. And he is kind of built up as like the rival Espada to Ichigo, and him and Ichigo fight throughout the entire Hoiko Mundo arc. Ichigo eventually does beat him.
Yeah.
Does not kill him, but beats him. and he seems to have like almost like a protective feeling for Orihime. Orihime's there, like he like literally protects her from these two crazy girls that are there. So he's like obviously not completely all the way there as a villain.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
I would agree with that. I don't particularly find him to be. I think he's more of like an anti-hero kind of character more than a villain. Less
well,
a villain.
also in the last arc in the Thousand Years War with the Quincy's, he fights with Ichigo against the Quincy's.
Yeah. So I agree. I that's why I was a little confused that he was on here to begin with, because he's not like completely evil. Like he doesn't like, I don't know. He's super powerful, he's super cool, and I love Grimmjow, but I don't know necessarily if I would consider him to be a complete and total villain, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I do love Grimmjow. Like that's not a slight against him.
Like in terms of design and in terms of badassery, he gets like a 7 out of 10 for me.
Yeah,
but
honestly, I love his character design in it. I love what he does. So for me, like in terms of badassery, I'm thinking like at least an 8.5 probably for me. But in terms of this list, I mean, he's probably either D or Boruto tier because he's not really a villain, at least not completely.
I believe it. Yeah. I would put him, for me, I'd put him at a C.
Okay.
I would put him at a C because he's built up as just like a wall that Ichigo has to get over.
Yeah.
And but like, yeah, of course. But like, he doesn't seem like that big of an obstacle when you think of like the other ones, like Aquario or whatever the fuck. All the names of the Espadas are stupid. Like
all the names are dumb, except for Grimmjow. Grimmjow's got the coolest name.
He has the coolest name because the rest of them are fucking stupid. But like
they're irrelevant too.
Yeah, but like the fourth one, I think his name is Okurio or Kirio, or whatever the hell his name is.
I think it's Akurio. I think you're right.
He is much more intimidating than Grimmjow is. And he's a lot more messed up and like a lot more evil. And
well, that's what I'm saying. I don't really consider him to be overly evil. Like he's yes, he does a few evil things, but I wouldn't say that he's necessarily completely evil. Like he does have a thing for Orihime. He does end up fighting with Ichigo in the last arc. And he doesn't necessarily get killed by Ichigo. He loses, but he doesn't get killed. So I don't know. Like that's why I say I don't know if I really want to put him up there, because we've got All For One at a C tier, and I don't necessarily consider him to be, in comparison to like acts that One For All or All For One has done. Like I don't consider him to be on the same playing field in terms of Grimmjow. That's why I'm thinking I don't really know if I want him at a C tier, like more maybe like D, to be honest, because he's not fully a villain.
I'd put him at a. Well, yeah, I guess I agree with you on there.
D tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
D tier. Yeah. And that's not to say that he's like not a really cool villain or a really cool character. I think he's a really cool character, but in terms of this list, I just don't think that he just really makes the cut. He's not like extremely evil, to be honest.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the Phantom Troupe from Hunter x Hunter.
I love the Phantom Troupe.
Like they're introduced in Hunter x Hunter. I'm just like, why can't this entire show be about them? They're so cool,
right?
The Phantom
they're all
so freaking much. They are all so cool. They all have really cool powers. Oh man, I love the Phantom Troupe.
And like, I like the Phantom Troupe so much that I don't like Kurapika as a character. After being introduced to them, I'm like,
honestly, I'm not even that big a fan of Kurapika to begin with, but
I like Kurapika.
Like you're introduced to the Phantom Troupe, and I was like you're introduced to them. I was like, you know what, Kurapika? I don't give a shit about what happened to your family. These guys are better.
I do like that Kurapika is like I like the way that Kurapika ends up like fucking their days up, because like there's they have some pretty cool fights, I think.
The one girl has a fucking vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so cool.
It's really cool.
Like, she has a vacuum cleaner that, like, will literally suck up everything that isn't alive.
Yes.
And it has,
I
like,
just-
teeth and a tongue on it.
I love them.
I just love
the
how much
Phantom
of
Troop.
like Killua and Gon, like they couldn't stand up to these guys
No,
in the slightest.
no, they
at
weren't anywhere
all.
close.
They
But,
got
like, they-
absolutely wrecked.
Well,
when
even-
they
they
beat
got their
them.
shit rocked.
Well, even the Phantom Troop likes them. Like, the one guy,
Yeah.
Nobunaga, liked
Yeah,
both Gon and Killua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the leader is so cool. He's so freaking cool.
I love his power of like just being able to copy other people.
Yeah, just-
in that book,
Yes.
it's so freaking strong.
Yeah. And then of course there's Hisoka.
Listen,
He's not really a Phantom
No.
Troop
He's
member.
not
he's
Really?
not.
Not-
He
No.
pretends to be in the Phantom
Yeah.
Troop. He
Yeah,
is not
but-
Phantom Troop.
But
Because if
he's still
Hisoka
really
was,
cool.
if we were counting Hisoka in this, I would put Phantom Troop at like a D tier. Because Hisoka is not a villain.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, but even though Hisoka is pictured in this Phantom Troop thing, but anyway,
I
that's-
know.
that aside, I'm not saying that. Yeah, I mean, whatever. That we can get into Hisoka on a completely different at a different time. But anyway, I say S tier to be honest. I think they're really cool. I think the work that they end up doing is really cool. I think it's kind of lame that they end up, kind of just getting beat up by a bunch of kids, but whatever. I just think they're really cool.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think they're
sort of what
extremely
happened.
evil.
Oh, they are definitely evil, and they're always just looking out for themselves. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll even fight each other if they're like,
Yeah,
there's a disagreement.
yeah, exactly.
I would say for the Phantom Troop, I would definitely put them either like an S or an A, because like
I
I'd
want to
say
say
S.
A tier.
I'd say S, but like the fact that like literally a small group of hunters can come in and fuck their entire operation up
Yeah.
is definitely a huge point against them, especially the one guy whose name escapes me, but he like the one that Kurapika kills, that name I'm forgetting.
The big guy,
Yeah,
was
the
it
big
Gao?
guy.
Go?
Go.
Maybe.
I think it's
It
Go.
was-
Yeah.
It was like GOU, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah.
Hang
But
on,
he,
I'm looking
like-
it up, double check.
But he like kills him, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But this is definitely points against you, Phantom Troop.
It
did-
made sense with the story that was being
It
told.
made
and
sense
how
The story. I'm not saying
Kurapika could do what
I
he's
mean, they
doing.
also destroyed the whatever those things were, the Shadow Beasts or whatever the hell those stupid
Oh,
mafia
that
guys were
so
called. Those guys were so lame.
the Shadow Beast got
lame anyway.
absolutely wrecked by him. Like,
Yeah, they did.
I just want to talk about that first scene for just a second. He chomps the guy's skull, kills
Yeah.
him, spits out a piece of his skull to kill the other guy.
Oh,
Like,
to answer your question, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jared, but it's Uvogin.
a Vogan?
Yeah, Uvogin.
Okay. I
Yeah,
feel like it's pronounced differently.
it might be. I'm just. Oh,
I
I'm sorry. Looks like they had Ubogin. Maybe
Ugo?
Ubogin. It could be pronounced like Ubugin or Ubogin. It looks
Okay.
like. Yeah.
I was trying to. I couldn't remember the exact pronunciation of the name, but
Yeah, you're fine.
they're great.
anyway.
I would say A tier simply because they did get essentially defeated to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we said like we weren't going to take that into consideration as much, but I feel like for them, they just got like outsmarted and outplayed by like
do end
people
up
who
getting
just became hunters.
Yeah, they do end up getting outplayed. I mean, all I said is that we shouldn't take into account that they get beat because that's going to be the case for most
Right,
of these
right.
villains. But how they get beat, we can definitely take into account. That, yeah, and I do agree. Honestly, like I think I'm fine with doing A tier in terms of that, just because, yeah, and I even said it myself that it is a little disappointing that they get beat up by, basically a group of people that just got their hunter's license and
Right.
like just even only just learned of their existence to begin with. So it's like, that's kind of a
A-tier,
point
'cause
against
they're
them,
dope.
but A tier, but they dope.
That like they can literally be introduced, and then like my feelings for our main character are just like I didn't really care for you before Kurapika, but now like I definitely don't like you.
I hope you get your eyes taken.
Yeah, out of all the main characters, Leorio is still my least favorite out of all of them.
Oh,
but,
he's
like,
my favorite.
I
I
love
love
he
Leorio.
would be your favorite because it's you. You are Leorio.
I am.
I like Leorio.
He's the best.
But anyway, that's a separate
It
that's
is.
a separate thing. What do we got next, Jared?
Aizen from Bleach.
Aizen from Bleach.
Yup.
Oh man. Austin, why don't you start us off on this one?
So, Aizen. This is painful. So
This one's tough.
this is hard. So Aizen is introduced as this really sweet, nice guy. He seems very caring, very loving. He's got glasses. He kind of looks like me.
Like he kind of resembles Austin.
Yeah. And he is found dead. He's just found perched up on the side of a wall, completely dead. And then you find out, like, oh, that's his Bankai. He can basically make illusions appear and make you believe them and make you hypnotized to it. And then he goes in and kills the entire, like, governing body of the Soul Society, causes the Soul Society to start a civil war, breaks it upon its edges, and the only reason why he is not completely successful is because Ichigo is there.
Yeah, just because Ichigo. That's literally the only reason.
If we were just judging it based on that, Aizen would be an S tier.
I think so too.
But then you get the Hoiko Mundo shit, and he's like, everything I've done has all been orchestrated by me kind of crap that he says to Ichigo.
Yeah.
And he then, like, after Ichigo beats him, he gets to, like, I'd put him at, like, a C tier. And then, in the final arc, the 1,000 Years War, he fights in the war strapped to a chair.
What?
He moves around in a chair and fights in a chair. He is called Chair Senpai. Google it if you want. Google it if you'd like. Just type in
I don't know
Sosuke.
if I want to. I feel like that's just gonna make me even more disappointed.
It is unbelievable.
Aizen is an absolutely terrifying villain up until he gets beat like a bitch.
Awful. Like
Awful. Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
But it's at that point where he gets beaten that Bleach kind of jumps the shark there, and it's just not very good after that.
It's like he's really intimidating in the first like, the Soul Society arc, and you're like, oh my god, this guy's like a genius and like really fucked up.
He's an evil genius. He's terrifying and really.
And then you find out like he's been doing this for like hundreds of years because like he's the reason why one of my favorite characters, Urahara, got kicked out of the Soul Society and is like wanted for treasonous behavior. He also created the fact that people were going hollow in the Soul Society. He created that as well. So like if we're judging it based on the first half, yeah, he's like an S tier, but if you're judging it on the whole, he's like a C, a B or a C. Put him in B because we don't have a B.
I think B.
Fair enough.
But like
I agree with Austin.
It's so aggravating. And then at the
he's a very irritating villain.
And then at the very end, he's literally fighting in a chair, and he's just comic relief. Like, he literally is moving around in a chair. And that's it. He's strapped to a chair. It's it. It's stupid and funny at the same time.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, that's...
Our first B tier. All right.
Yeah.
What am I being?
Next we have MyAnimeList. Let me tell you folks about this website. They took the modern classic.
Can we just talk about this list, this rank tier list that we've got? It's got Funimation and KissAnime in here too, and I love it.
We'll get there. So, MyAnimeList. I got a lot of grievances with you.
Air those grievances, Jared.
They took a perfectly fun ranking of interspecies reviewers from being a modern day classic and knocked the tier down because they didn't like that people were rating it highly, legitimately as well. They like to have their rankings how they want their rankings on their website, even though it's voted on by fans. That is all I need to say about them. I want to put them in S tier villainry. S tier.
I love it. I'm fine with it. Put him up in
S tier they are! And also, thank you, MyAnimeList, because I do use you all the time to pick out what I'm going to be watching for future seasons.
This
is strictly for the lulz.
Religiously. So, thanks, MyAnimeList. But you're also pure evil.
Yes, pure evil. I think we have a One Piece character next. I don't know what he's from.
Which I don't know. Austin, do you know which one? Because we kind of picked out in the middle of the list. Well,
I don't know what picture are you guys doing. Cause
he has the teeth and the red hair.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Oh shoot. We'll be back to him.
We'll come back to that.
So after that, I forget.
Okay.
I'll have to look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Next then we have Maximilian Pegasus.
Oh my god, I love I know we shat on Yu-Gi-Oh so much last time we talked about it, but I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I love Pegasus. I think he's hilariously evil and very enjoyable.
Your introduction to him is he captures Yu-Gi-Oh's grandfather's soul
yes.
in a videotape.
He captures Mokuba's. He tries to take over Kaiba's company.
He just wants to win the children's card game. And he does it all in the name so he can save his dear Cecilia.
Yes. He is a wonderful villain.
He's so good.
Like, easily,
Yugi boy.
Yugi boy.
Yugi boy. Oh, you've activated my trap card. Oh. I love Maximilian Pegasus, and I think he absolutely is super evil in a weird kind of way, because he's also doing it all for love, but also at the same time, I don't think that really excuses the fact that you've stolen an old man's soul as well as a small boy's soul.
I understand why he took Mokuba. Mokuba sucks.
Yeah, he sucks, but but he then forces people to play these children's card games and the final battle is between him and Yugi, and the loser gets banished to the Shadow Realm.
Oh my god. See, he's the best.
He's terrifying.
I want to say he's a solid A tier.
I honestly think he is an A tier, to be honest.
It took the protagonist with the most ridiculous hair to finally defeat him.
Literally, yeah. Yami Yugi has the best protag hair of all time.
Saying A tier?
A tier for Maximilian Pegasus.
Wow.
What do you think?
We're putting him in the same league as Cell.
Yes.
Okay.
Madara Uchiha, Pain, and the Phantom Troupe.
Okay.
Yes.
I will settle for nothing less than B tier.
Yeah,
I
think
fine.
B tier. I think B tier.
All right.
I just enjoy Pegasus as a villain. I enjoy him. All right, what do we?
I did get a name. The villain was Katakuri from One Piece.
Oh.
Fuck is that?
Yeah, I got it.
You're the One Piece man.
It's true. I have not heard of this person.
Yeah, I don't remember this person. Katakuri, One Piece.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from the. Okay, so this is the whole cake arc.
Oh, okay. So that's where I stopped. Was just before the whole cake arc. So I haven't seen this one.
Okay, so that's the whole arc with Sanji's parents, because that's his because it's the island he goes to for his for the wedding.
Okay.
He's a member of the Big Mom Pirates. Let's come back to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to evaluate this one.
Well, next we have Griffith from Berserk.
S tier.
S
tier.
tier. Immediately S tier.
We don't need to we can discuss him as much as you want, but S tier, it's instantly S tier.
He is the biggest piece of shit villain on this entire list, and we haven't even finished the list.
Yeah, he is definitely the biggest piece of shit, and you're probably like, oh, he doesn't look harmful. He is
terrifying.
He's like the worst person in all of anime, probably.
Yeah,
Austin, you are the biggest Berserk fan in here. Take it away.
Yeah, take it away, Og.
So, how I can best describe Griffith is he's basically he's a gay. I'm almost positive he's gay. Like 90% sure that he's
at least bi.
Yeah, I know. He's in love with Griff. I mean, in love with Guts. But like, he's a beautiful man that has like basically no heart, no soul, and is only looking out for himself. And the only person he cares about in the world is Guts, because Guts is stronger than him in combat. And Griffith, like, he like beds a princess and then leaves her. Then he gets captured and then he gets tortured. He is like basically just skin and bones when they find him. Then he ends up getting kind of like nourished back to life. Then he basically causes all of his friends, all of his men that have served on him, including Guts, to get the demon brand. He sends himself up to the God Hand. He rapes Guts's girlfriend Casca, and completely what's the word I want to use? Contaminates diseases, blights, whatever you want to call it, her baby, turning into like basically like a demon spawn. And that's like in like the first 4 books.
Yeah.
Like he's just a demon that is constantly showing up throughout Guts' entire life. And he's now referred to as Femto, but he is escalated to a whole nother plane of existence in a whole different reality. And he's constantly following Guts around, and Guts literally cannot ever be happy or ever get to a single point of his life where he's like, I'm safe now, because of the brand that is on his body that is put on there by Griffith. Griffith is fucked. Griffith is, in terms of villain, he is the most evil person on this list. And bar none. Like, bar none.
Yeah. I can give you that.
Man. I really couldn't have said it any better. He is just a complete piece of shit. Like, just evil to the freaking core.
I mean, he's
unbelievable.
Said,
like, he sacrificed all his men. Like, these are people that like blindly would follow him. They were all mercenaries for him.
Everyone thought he was beautiful.
Like, he had like the best army in the entire like world that just did the most incredible things. If you are a listener and you have never seen the scene where he sacrifices all of his men, you should go watch it, because it'll definitely make you feel something. Yeah. So in the 90s anime, you get like 20 some episodes of build up with Griffith just being the best guy, just like the greatest guy, really cares about all his people, and then it all just goes to hell, literally. It's like everyone always talks about like the most fucked up scene in all of anime, and like, yeah, the part in Full Metal Alchemist with Shou Tucker, that's like incredibly depressing, and that definitely is hard to watch. But like, watching all of his men getting sacrificed to like the God Hand during the eclipse is like one of the like most fucked up,
it's real fucked up,
like hard scenes to watch in all of anime, like bar none. Like, there's nothing else like that. Yeah, Wild Guts has one of his eyes just like gouged out, and it's and missing an arm, and it's all happening. Yeah. It's if you haven't watched it, definitely give it a check. Look it up. It's really good. It's really good.
It is really good.
Berserk is like one of the best. The anime is not great right now because it looks terrible, but read it. It looks the books are great. Can't complain about that.
Yeah.
But
all right.
Next we have the Ginyu Force.
Oh, okay. All right. I was better. I was ready for something else. But anyway.
Boruto.
Yeah,
oh,
Boruto.
easily Boruto. Like they got wrecked by like Goku straight off the ship. He was already stronger than every single one of them. The only reason that they did anything was Captain Ginyu could change bodies, and Goku didn't know that.
Yeah.
So like,
and then Captain Ginyu got turned into a frog.
Well, like between the Ginyu Force, like you have the short little one,
Goto.
Yeah, he can stop Goldo or whatever. He can like stop time by holding his breath. Then like one of them is like really fast. One of them,
Jace is really fast.
I forget what the red one's thing is.
That's
I don't
Jace.
know.
Jace
I thought the blue one is Jace.
No,
yeah,
I thought
blue
Jace
one's Jace.
was the red one.
The blue one's Jace. The red one.
No, blue one's Berter. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so one of them is like Jace. One of them's like really fast.
Yeah, that's Jace.
Raccoon is basically a professional wrestler.
The name's Raccoon. It rhymes with doom.
And then Captain Ginyu, yeah, he gets turned into a frog, and they introduce themselves in a Power Ranger / whatever the Japanese equivalent is, that's name's escaping my head right now. They introduce themselves like that every time.
Yeah.
Like, it's
both
horrible and great at the same time.
Yeah.
They're the more annoying Team Rocket, if you ask me.
As for being hilarious, it's wonderful. As
I love them.
Villains, they are not at all. They are
not
definitely
at all.
Boruto tier.
The only people in the Dragon Ball Z universe
up by Vegeta.
The only people that are less intimidating in the Dragon Ball universe that is a villain is the Red Ribbon Army.
Truth.
Yeah.
Boruto
I think Boruto tier. Man, we've got more Boruto than we do Boruto tier than B and C tier.
I know.
On this list right now. What do we got next, Jared?
We have the Major.
Yes. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about here. Oh man! All right. Well, first you guys go ahead and give me what you think.
Take it away, man.
I love the Major. The Major is freaking terrifying. Here's why. He's able to he is a Nazi. He's a Nazi that he's kind of a Nazi, but he's also kind of a robot. It's kind of cool, but he's just a very conniving, manipulative individual that's able to sow dissent across the world and bring about the rise of the Nazis again, which is terrifying. But not only that, like some of the speeches that he delivers are absolutely like they're real messed up. It's like, so I know that like you've got like the abridged series where they have like the whole part where it's like where he gives a speech about how he loves war, but that quote is very close to the actual show. Like that entire speech is very close to the actual show, and it's terrifying. He's a very terrifying individual, and in order to have his entire plan go up in flames, Alucard has to go like absolute full on like empty himself of all of the spirits and stuff that he has absorbed over the last age, basically, in order to actually beat him in his game. He's absolutely terrifying. He raises up an entire army of evil Nazi vampires, which I know this sounds hilarious. It partially is, but it's also really terrifying. And a lot of the vampires that he ends up creating are really, really cool and also equally just as really scary. Like, I love the Major. Honestly, I think he is an S tier villain.
B tier. For me, personally. B tier.
A tier. A tier.
B, yeah.
I really like the Major. But with with Hellsing especially, like let me think.
Like this one, I can't be convinced otherwise.
Because like when you're introduced to like Alucard as a character, he's like able to overcome practically every single thing, no matter what.
Yeah.
So like the fact that he's getting pushed to that limit to just beat this guy.
Yeah.
I'd say S tier because like Alucard's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he is. This is true.
See what
I
he ends
would-
up accomplishing. He ends up burning all of London, like
Yeah.
in a good portion of the world, and he takes down the Catholic Church.
I mean, that's a hero thing right there for me.
well,
I mean,
okay, stop that. All right.
S tier. I'd say S tier.
All right,
Yeah.
S tier he goes. Next we have Boros from One Punch Man. Thoughts? Considerations? What we thinking here, guys? He had a fun fight with Saitama,
Yeah.
even though Saitama wasn't really trying.
No.
Like One Punch villains is like
That's the thing. Yeah. Go ahead,
it's
Austin.
well, it's like the thing with like One Punch villains is like they're like it doesn't matter like what the villain is. Like since Saitama's entire thing is like, hey, I punch you once and you die. Like it kind of ruins ever having a villain that's like worthy
The
of.
problem.
See,
ahead.
the thing with Boros is, like, he had the same problem that Saitama had.
Yeah.
Like, he was so strong that no fight that he ever got into,
Yeah.
like, he was a struggle for him, or anything. He just mopped the floor with everything across, the
Did
galaxy?
he like kick? Doesn't he like kick him to the moon or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Like, I think he's a solid A or B tier, personally.
I'd be willing to go B. I'd say B or C.
I think B or C personally, and here's why. And so my biggest issue with any One Punch villains is that they're very one-dimensional. If you ask me, that's just my opinion. So I find it difficult to say that they should be an S tier or an A tier. Just because I don't think they're I don't think they're always entirely fleshed out, just because the majority of the time it's just, well, they're trying to, I don't know, take over a certain area or something. They're just kind of there. They're not really, I don't know
What are you talking about? The House of Evolution villains was great.
Yeah.
With an interesting backstory.
Yeah.
I'd say I'll either say B.
know.
I'll say B or C for me.
I think C tier, to be honest.
All right, I'm fine with sticking him down in C tier. Next up, we have Funimation. All right, guys, listen.
You should be watching.
You should be watching. If their website works,
Yeah,
am
if
I
their
right?
website ever works.
Their app is garbage.
Awful.
Okay. I got a lot of problems with you.
In terms of villainy, the fact that they consistently take over a lot of the animes and only release them on their site, and sometimes they only do it at limited
that's what a business
release times.
does, but yeah.
But they only do it for limited amounts of time sometimes, and it's mostly because they're trying to drive up prices of DVD sales.
Which, let me get to the DVD sales, which they have numerous issues releasing their DVDs with problems. Like, most notably recently, like, they had issues with, like, ReZero, where they put, like, they had, like, the wrong version of some of it on there. They did that with another show, where they had the TV broadcast version instead of the uncensored version.
Mm-hmm.
So everything with the gore in it was just, like, blacked out. They've done that multiple times. They dropped interspecies reviewers. Dropped it.
Jared,
I've never seen a show with so much plot.
You're never gonna sell us on that one.
No. So I enjoy watching anime in their app. Yes, they have good anime. Yes, they have tons of money to throw around and get all the anime they want. But they dropped a show. They dropped it because they said it was too graphic. Yet I can name a dozen other shows of theirs that are equally as graphic as that. A tier. A tier villainy.
Okay. A tier. Fine by me.
Okay.
What's next, Jared?
Apocalymon from Digimon.
Apocalymon.
By the way, where's Viz Media at? You don't have Viz Media on here?
Listen, Viz Media is saints. They're saints. I love
Okay,
Viz Media.
I thought I was just checking.
Just checking.
What are we? Who the fuck are we doing? What Digimon?
Yeah, Apocalymon.
Who?
Apocalymon.
Oh
Apocalymon. Listen, he's great. He wants to take over the entire Digiverse and the internet, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
I barely remember this guy.
He basically just wants to take over the internet, Austin.
Yeah. He's wonderful, so he's just evil to the core.
Yes, he wants to take over the internet. Evil to the core.
He's created from Digimon that were doomed to death.
Yeah.
And he's confined to an empty world of darkness. He is the edgelord of Digimon.
He is the absolute epitome of edgelord.
No, yes. that's where Garurumon, War Garurumon, D tier for Digimon. That's my final answer.
Digimon. God dang it. I'm more inclined to agree with Austin on this one, just because I think in terms of level of villainy, pretty much minimal. If you guys were actually doing villains in like Digimon, you guys should have done the stupid monkey with the microphone.
Oh, what was his name?
I don't remember.
Epimon?
Yeah, Epimon maybe.
Edamon, something like that.
Something like that.
I think it's Edamon.
Yeah.
It's Entomon, yeah.
Entomon. Damn, I was close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, Austin? Why would we just like throw Devimon in here too? Come on now, we can't have all these Boruto tier Digimon villains in here. Apocalymon is the main villain.
D tier for Digimon. That's my final answer.
I'm with Austin. He's kind of lame. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. He's the main villain, and it's sad.
So I have my information for that One Piece villain. If you want to do that.
Go for it then. Yeah.
Okay, so I barely remember this guy.
That doesn't bode well.
So, so he is the guy that has mochi powers. He can turn his body into mochi.
Okay, that's pretty sweet.
He is a master spearsman. He can basically use haki, which is basically Nen in One Piece. He can see into the future. He can harden his body. He's a master spearsman. He fights Luffy for most of the arc. He also can fling jelly beans at high speeds like bullets. I would put him at a D tier because he is a part of the Mom Pirates. That's my opinion on the whole thing. He looks really cool, but the fact that he primarily deals with he has dessert powers, he just doesn't do it for me when I'm thinking of a villain. I don't want to think about a dessert while I'm talking about a villain.
I'm the complete opposite. I want to think about dessert when I think of a villain, and I would put him at C tier for that alone.
No, man.
But I don't
creme brulee.
C tier for creme brulee.
Yes.
Do it.
All right. Are we putting him at C? All right.
Yes. Next, we have King Bradley from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
S tier, A tier.
I want to say A tier.
He's great.
He is ridiculously strong, and just shreds through everything once you realize he is a villain.
Yeah. He's pretty friggity frecked up, man. Yeah, I think A tier.
A tier it is.
I think A tier.
And this next one, do not.
We're just not even going to talk about the fact that what happened to Hughes. We're not going to talk about that.
Well, that wasn't him.
I know it wasn't him, but he helped orchestrate that.
I know.
Never forget.
Never
forget.
He was my favorite character too.
Never forget.
He figured it out. Better. He figured it all out.
He deserved better.
He did.
Ugh.
Poor man.
All right, the next
So
one
we're going
here,
A tier?
Yeah, A tier.
Okay.
The next one I do not know at all.
I'm not recognizing that one either.
I forget what it is. Give me a second and I will look this up.
Light Yagami while this is going on, or Light Yagami.
Yeah.
Light Yagami? Yeah.
I hate him.
I
hate
love
him.
Light.
I hate him.
I hate him.
He killed one of my favorite characters. That being said, Light is a great villain. He literally like kills his dad. Yeah. He murders who knows how many thousands and thousands of people he killed.
Well,
and it started out as like something good. Like he started out doing something good.
It's interesting to watch his character evolve into a villain.
Yeah.
From being a good guy to a villain. Yeah, I hate Light. I think he's a piece of shit.
He's one of my favorite villains, and how he outsmarts L.
He certainly is a villain, and he does end up killing his dad, and
he also doesn't he also kill Misa? I feel like he does.
Yeah, I think he does.
I could be wrong.
What a piece of shit.
I forget what happens with that
sure
part.
He does.
But the fact that he does outsmart L though has to count for a lot.
Yeah.
Like, ooh. Man.
I think A tier, to be honest. That's just me.
I know.
Yeah, I put him at A tier.
Yeah,
just because
A-tier.
you look at the S tier and what scale that we're talking for S tier in terms of the villainy, and I think it's not quite as close. It's up there, but I don't think it's quite nearly as
I would
big.
say A tier, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and I did get for the other one. It's Naraku from Inuyasha.
Oh. Okay.
Which...
Barely remember him, to be honest.
Same. Oh man.
Barely remember this player.
While that research is going on, I'll talk about Toguro from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Please do.
So Toguro is introduced to you as like this just big guy. Like he's really strong. And then you find out that this guy literally can just make his body bigger by increasing the percentage of muscle that he has. You find out that he had a probably sexual relationship with Genkai. He loved her, but then he started kind of turning evil, and she, left him to do, because she did not agree with what he wanted to do, because he had such like a vast hatred for demons that he ended up becoming one himself.
Uh-huh.
But like my thing with Toguro anyway is like the dark tournament arc of Yu Yu Hakusho is like the best. So like the whole fight with him and Yusuke is great. Like that fight does not disappoint. It's really good, and you don't see him fight throughout the whole tournament until that fight. So it's definitely really cool to see that whole thing go down. But like it's really shitty of the show to be like 2 episodes later that they're like, yeah, Toguro was like a D grade demon, and you're just like, what? And they're like, yeah, they're like A tiers, S tiers. He's a D grade villain. Oh, Yusuke, your dad's is the strongest of all the demons. And I'm just like, what? Like, what do you? Why? Why did you do that? Why did you make him? Why you make him seem like such a bitch now?
I feel like it was just the writer, like, being like, I don't know where to go with this at this point.
Yeah.
Let's do this because I have to keep, like, raising the stakes,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I don't want that to take anything away from Toguro, because I think he's a solid A tier villain. I don't think he's S tier.
No,
I don't think he's S tier either. I think you could make the argument that he could be an A tier.
Yeah, he might even be a B tier.
I'd say B.
I was thinking more B, to be honest, but you could make the argument for A.
Right. I think there's an argument to be made, but when I look at the villains who are like in the A tier,
in comparison to this guy,
yeah, he's not a bigger villain than like Cell for the most part.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the Phantom Troupe or King Bradley or Light Yagami, or I mean, definitely not a bigger villain than Funimation.
No, definitely not.
even though Funimation owns the rights to that. So there's their argument right there. They own the rights
There you go.
to the English version of Yu Yu Hakusho. He's got to be below Funimation then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. Put him there.
B tier.
B tier. So
I have
back to-
okay,
yeah,
you got it too.
I did. Yeah, I found him.
It started flooding some
basically-
memories back, and he's a good villain.
He's a good villain. So Naruko is basically responsible for all the misfortunes that revolve around the Inuyasha series, including the death of Kikyo. He seals Inuyasha in the sacred tree. He curses. He's behind Murako's curse. He's also responsible for the death of Sengo's family. I mean, he is a human. Basically, at least that's his origin. He was a selfish bandit who lived a life full of sin and void of love. And so let's see. When Onagumo was disfigured and crippled, Kikyo felt pity for him and continued to take care of him even after he tried to push her. Onigumo secretly fell for her, but was pained that she loved Inuyasha and his belief that a pure Miko would never love a wicked man like him. Driven by frustrated lust for Kikyo and envy towards Inuyasha, and this is Naruko Onagumo. I believe. Basically, his entire. It sounds like he's mostly just kind of driven by envy for the most part. He draws a horde of weak demons that loathed Kikyo and made a bargain with these demons so that they could eat his flesh, and the demons would combine into one entity to become part of the new body. And so, basically, he's just trying to beat Inuyasha in order to capture Kikyo until she agreed to return his love. Basically, yeah. He's okay.
Yeah, he's kind of a dickbag.
He's kind of a douche. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a douche. Now I go back and think about it, but
I mean, I would put him at a solid C tier.
I think, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is probably like C tier.
C tier he is. And that brings us to Johan Liebert. Oh man.
This guy's an S tier.
Yeah. He
is fucked. Not as much as in my opinion, not nearly as much as Griffith, but he's definitely
he's in that type of villainy.
Yeah,
he's like a genius. Yeah.
If anybody who's have seen Monster, like, you know what a sack of shit this guy is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
think,
fine with S tier on him, like, honestly.
Yeah.
Justin?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, I'm fine with S tier on that.
He's an S tier villain. If you haven't seen Monster, go and watch it and you'll understand.
He's pretty fucked up. That's
like whenever you're like a baby that's raised by like a Nazi organization.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, you're gonna have some pretty fucked up things going on inside of you. And like the fact that his whole like point of view is like, I'm gonna be the last person alive after the end of the world, and like that's how he's like pushing himself. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty messed up.
He's basically like a younger version of Major.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's basically correct. Yeah, he's rickety, Rick and scary. He's friggin' scary, man.
All right, next we have Gilgamesh from the Fate universe.
Oh man,
I personally love Gilgamesh.
I love Gilgamesh. Ooh, I love Gilgamesh. He's pretty evil. To be fair,
I'll just keep my
Austin.
I'll just keep my historical opinions
Jared,
to
you
myself.
want to talk a little bit about him?
I'm kind of curious of Austin's opinions because I know he recently watched this show.
So, I have a history degree. The way they portray Gilgamesh hurts my soul. I love Gilgamesh in terms of like the story. Like he's like he's like the very first god that humanity ever created, like ever.
Yeah.
And there's like entire stories about it and how like his best friend died and then he took the blood to create the rest of the world. Like that's his like entire starting story. And in this, it's like I guess it's okay, but like he's just like, I don't know, he's kind of like what if a stand went rogue and decided like I'm not going to listen to what any of you people have to say. I don't know, like in terms of the villains in like the Fate show, he was definitely not my favorite. But I'm also like a big like I don't know, like I didn't really gravitate towards most of the villains. I liked more of the hero characters, especially fucking Iskander was the
Iskandar.
fucking,
I love Iskandar.
dude,
He's best boy.
he's the
Iskandar's
best.
best boy.
He's the best.
We all love Iskandar.
I was like, why
This is
can't this
true.
entire show just have him as the main character? Because
they
like,
should just have an entire show about Iskandar.
because like the guy who owned, like the guy who had him was such a little bitch, and I got
He
so
was.
mad. I'm like, why is Alexander the Great getting the worst fucking person ever?
Yes. Iskandar is fantastic, but as far as Gilgamesh goes,
As a villain in the show,
as a villain,
like-
there are much worse villains.
Yeah, there is fucking damn it, the French guy that's worked for Joan of Arc. Damn it.
yeah.
Damn it.
I can't remember his name either.
I'll tell you in a second, because anime has like a weird obsession with him, and it really bothers me.
I don't know. I really like how cocky Gilgamesh is. Like he just
He's a
knows
cocky
he's the
prick.
strongest.
He's a cocky prick, but I just think that he's
And he's-
I don't know.
He's fairly manipulative. He's very strong.
Mhm.
He has one of the best like ultimate abilities.
Yeah, he does have one of the best ultimate move kind of things.
And he did kill our best boy.
He did. He did, but I don't think, in comparison to some of the other, in comparison to the other guy, I really cannot remember his name.
Where he just like murdered children.
Yeah, literally.
Gilderay.
Hilderay, yeah,
Gilderay / Bluebeard.
yeah. Bluebeard is a lot worse, if you ask me, in comparison.
Right.
So in terms of this list, though,
I think he's a C tier.
I think C tier. Yeah, I think C tier.
All right. Next on list, we finally get a Gundam villain, Austin.
Is that Char?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Char.
Damn. Dude, Char is great. The fact that like they just constantly like if you watch Gundam ever, like there's always that guy who is dressed like that. Like there's always that character throughout all of Gundam.
Yeah.
And he's always like one of the more memorable characters. He's also just like one of the best. And like I love his Red Zaku Gundam. Like it's definitely one of my favorites in terms of like model kits. It just has a unique design, especially whenever you're like watching old Gundam. It's nice to see something that like, stands out from everything else.
Yeah.
In terms of like a villain though,
Yeah, but as a villain though, like what is it? I don't know.
He's constantly getting foiled.
Yeah.
He definitely is very ambitious and he is very cruel. Like he's definitely willing to risk losing like a bunch of people to further his own progress.
Right.
He's definitely like an incredible pilot and he's definitely threatening. And usually for the better part of a Gundam series, that character is going to be like a major wall. And occasionally sometimes they get turned to the side, like in Gundam Wing, the version of that comes over to their side. I think his name's Miliardo Peacecraft. But like I really like Char as a character. Throughout.
I like him as a character. I like what he brought to the series. Like,
yeah,
especially what he brought to like the rest of Gundam shows.
Yeah.
Like he paved the way to have like that type of a villain in all of the series. He was that memorable.
Yeah.
Like they always try to copy him, but it's never as good.
It's never as good. There's a few that like work pretty well, but like I don't know. It's definitely he's definitely like a nice signature to the series. Kind of like in I mean I don't know what to compare it to. That's like common throughout the rest, but
Where
I
on
don't know.
this list do you think you put him though? That's the thing.
I'd put him at a C or a D tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I mean, he's not going to get above a C or a D.
No.
Yeah.
And I would actually probably put him at like, probably a D tier.
I
Unfortunately,
think D tier,
That's
yeah.
fine.
to be honest.
Compared to everyone else, because like
He's just
he's always foiled in the end. He's more competent than like Team Rocket, but
yeah,
like
but,
every time he shows up, usually he's beaten like 9 times out of 10.
yeah.
Until he gets like an upgraded mobile suit, like the tall geese or
Yeah.
whatever that can take over. Yeah. So
All right, that brings us to Overhaul from My Hero Academia.
tier D.
What tier?
D
D.
tier?
D.
Wow.
I hate Overhaul.
I
But-
don't agree with that.
So I like Overhaul, and I
like
and I
Overhaul as
think he's a
well.
C or a D.
Yeah. I think C, to be honest. I think he's about at the same level as All for One, or One for All, or All for One. There we go. I always get it backwards.
Mm,
I think more of a
I think
C.
he's a step below, personally.
think so?
Now that I've thought more about it, yeah. I
literally
think he's
gets-
at a D tier.
I mean,
Okay.
he gets beat by Shigaraki. Shigaraki like stabs him with his bullet and then cuts his hands off.
Yeah.
Like, no, like
That to be fair, he was already defeated.
Yeah, he
by-
already
he was
got
already
beaten.
he was
just
already
picking up.
he was already defeated, but like in terms of a villain, like he just kind of shows up. He's like, hey, so I'm gonna be the leader of your guys' League of Villains, which technically he is the strongest out of all the villains.
Oh
that are
yeah,
there.
he's pretty
Yeah.
sweet. Like
He's
his
pretty-
for
he's
his
pretty
quirk.
awesome.
But like the thing that
But in
sucks,
terms
like
of-
he should have been a hero. Like he should have been a hero. Like it's so angry. Like reading it or watching it, and you're just like, this guy should have been a hero, like hands down. And I like he like is barely there. Like he's there for like in terms of like because I've only read his arc, but like in terms of arc, he's only in the book for like 3 books.
Yeah, he's not.
And then he just
Yeah.
and then he's just taken down. Like
Well, it's
yes.
hard. Yeah, it is hard. I was never gonna suggest that we take him to like like above a C tier, but
Yeah.
as far as like I don't know, overall impact in terms of what he does, I mean, I'd say it's pretty minimal by comparison.
He does create the bullets that can take away powers, and he does
Yeah.
take away my boy Lemillion's powers.
Oh, for
God
that
rest-
he gets D tier for that. I forgot for a second. Lemillion's best boy.
Yup,
He's
best boy.
he's the best. I love him.
Yeah.
But he
All right.
did take away Lemillion's power, so does that move him up to a C tier?
He also
no.
treats treats that
no.
little girl like shit.
Yeah.
Doesn't get points for that.
He gets points as a villain for that, though.
It's true, but
I
like,
think it's
but I
C
just think-
tier. I think
don't
C.
know.
What do you think, Justin?
I still think D tier, to be honest, just because overall his impact is not.
It's not. It's
not
not a
large.
big impact.
He's never. Yeah, we never get to see what exactly he's envisioning. Like we know that he's like, yes, I want to take over all the superheroes' powers, and then the villains will rise up, and then the heroes will have to pay me in order to get their powers back. Well, that's kind of lame.
that's a good plan. And the fact that Shigaraki just doesn't give a shit about it just shows you how shitty of a villain Shigaraki is. Because
I mean,
Shigaraki
I'm not
sucks
saying
too.
that-
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not saying that, but I am saying that overall, it's kind of in comparison to the rest of this list, that plot's kind of just eh. It's like
Overhaul.
you just want to. So you basically just want to be a business guy. That's really all you want. Like he's not really.
He is
right.
in the Yakuza.
It's not. I mean, yeah, he is in the Yakuza, so it makes sense. But at the same time, it's like overall, like in terms of the grand scale of villainy, it's it's kind of like it's a good plan, but as far as like evil, I don't know. It's D tier.
I'm fine with D tier. All right. Who do we have next here, Austin?
On my screen, I have KissAnime next.
Yeah, I have KissAnime next. I don't know who you got.
KissAnime then. S tier.
S tier.
S tier. Listen, you're a pirate anime website. But I do give them lulls for Funimation actually using a screenshot from them like once or twice for a show. Instead of taking the screenshot from their own damn website, that was probably not able to run the anime.
Anime is, but
they're S tier.
It's a pirating website.
I'll believe you.
You can basically watch any anime that you want. Basically,
it's horrible. It's absolutely terrible.
Nice.
S tier. S tier villainry for anime. They give nothing to the community. Nothing.
No, they really don't.
They just take.
Take and take and take.
All right. The next one I have on mine, Austin, is a guy who's looking through like a white face thing.
Shishio Makoto.
Yeah.
Shishio Makoto.
He is for me anyway, he's like an A tier. So Shishio Makoto is, in my opinion, the main villain of Rurouni Kenshin. He definitely has the longest arc in Rurouni Kenshin. So he
that's who he's from. Okay.
Yeah, so he was supposed to be the new Hichikiri, the new assassin. But the government in Japan was so worried about him that they, in the middle of the night, went into his house. They poured lighter fluid on his body, lit his body on fire, and he did not die. So his body temperature can't get above a certain point. So he wraps his body up in like bandages. And whenever his body temperature gets too high, he then goes and takes a hot bath to get the body temperature down. So he is like an incredible swordsman. He also puts gunpowder in his sword so that in his arena has fire. So when he hits somebody, it causes an explosion when he hits them with his sword. And in terms of plan, he recruits about like 10 other individuals who are all, he calls them the 10 swords, to basically go across this area to stop anybody from coming into him while he potentially tries to take over Kyoto. He also gets an entire battleship to bomb Kyoto to start a fire to burn it all to the ground so that he can then go in there and install himself as leader as he had once hoped for. Of course, this entire plan falls through, but he is incredibly intimidating. He's very terrifying looking, and his death is disgusting because, like, his body literally goes over its heat limit and he just kind of melts away. And then when he dies, he goes to hell to rule hell. Like, that's his death. It's him in hell, walking around in hell with his wife and a guy saying, "We're going to rule this place together," and then disappears off into the distance.
Yeah.
That's Shishio Makoto.
Oh, yeah, I remember him now. He's like an A tier, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've never even seen the show, but I think A tier, just from the description.
He's terrifying. Like, he's really intimidating, and oh man, he's ridiculous.
Agreed.
A tier for me, that's fine.
All right, next we have Majin Buu, specifically Super Buu.
Super Buu.
So for what Buu did to the Dragon Ball Z franchise, he's Boruto tier. But in terms of villainy,
so Fat Buu is Boruto tier, Kid Buu is Boruto tier, Super Buu I think is a B tier.
Yeah,
or
B,
A tier. I love Super Buu.
I could say B tier for Super Buu.
Yeah, I'll say B.
Super Buu is the only redeeming part of that arc.
Yeah,
to be honest.
He absorbed Piccolo. He absorbed Gohan.
Yeah, Piccolo.
Didn't he absorb
Gohan,
Goten and Trunks?
Gotenks.
Yeah, he absorbed Gotenks, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everyone should have gotten rid of Gotenks at some point.
I like Gotenks.
I hate Gotenks.
I hated Gotenks. Gotenks.
And it took Vegito to finally defeat him.
It did.
Like, even Kid Buu was defeated by fucking Vegeta and Goku.
Yeah.
Like, it took a fusion for them to defeat Super Buu.
Yeah. I think B tier's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That brings us to, I think it's Blackbeard, right?
It is
from
Blackbeard. Yeah.
Blackbeard's
Yeah.
dope. Blackbeard is like
dope. I'm with Austin on this one.
Blackbeard is great. I love Blackbeard. Like,
Go ahead.
if you do end up watching One Piece, Jared, at some point in your life, I know it's a lot. It's a Herculean task to partake.
Yeah, but Blackbeard's pretty early on.
He has a lasting impression. Like, in terms of book, he like shows up in like fucking volume. What is it? Holy shit! I gotta turn my head another way. He shows up like volume like 60. Like, he shows up at the Impel Down War, and that's like books like 67 through like 70. So like, he, in terms of character, like when you first are introduced to him, you don't think anything of it. It's him and Monkey D. Luffy are in a bar arguing about what's better, meat or pie. Monkey D. Luffy, of course, says meat, and Blackbeard is, of course, saying pie, and they are arguing the whole time. It's hilarious. So I'm like, okay, this guy isn't intimidating at all. And then like you find out that he has the power over darkness. He kills Monkey D. Luffy's brother. Yeah. He then kills Whitebeard, who is one of the warlords of the sea. Like, it completely goes from being like a C or D rank villain to like S tier in the matter of like time. I'm like, holy shit! Like, this guy's causing problems. I really like him. His design is really derpy and stupid.
Really derpy design.
But I like it because it like kind of matches like what I imagine Blackbeard looking like in an anime. I would probably, if I was giving him, I would probably say like a B tier personally. But like, he's like actually scary, and he actually stands up to the like world government. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I would definitely put him at like, I would definitely put him at a B tier for me anyway.
Yeah.
B tier?
Justin? I think B tier is fine. B tier is fine. But I'm trying to remember. I didn't think Blackbeard killed Ace. I thought he got killed by the government.
No, Blackbeard killed it. Oh, Blackbeard captured Ace. The government killed him. But like,
okay, that's Blackbeard, what I thought.
Blackbeard like basically beat him in a fight.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted clarity on that. I was like, I'm remembering that completely differently because there was that whole scene where they were trying to fight to save him. All right. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. That brings us to Orochimaru.
See. Orochimaru is cool at like, if like we're judging it based on like Naruto as a kid, he'd be like an A tier, but like
Orochimaru when you first are introduced to him is actually kind of scary because he ends up infiltrating the ninja exams. He kills one of the proctors without anybody really knowing until like the second ninja test, I think.
We also put the curse mark on Sasuke in the
He does put, I was getting to that. He infiltrates the second exam with a bunch of ninjas from the Sound. And then they end up terrorizing all of the test candidates. He ends up beating up Naruto, terrifying Sakura, and putting a curse mark on Sasuke. And then ends up
the third Hokage beats him in a fight.
And then he ends up, well, technically he like, I guess the third Hokage does end up beating him by sacrificing himself. But he
also takes his hands.
He does take his hands. Overall though, he's just, I don't know. In the grand scheme of it all, though, all he wants to do is just stay young. He doesn't really want to age. That's like his thing. He just doesn't. Overall, in terms of villainy, he's pretty minimal. He is capturing people to put his body into theirs. Yes,
which is kind of disgusting. But like, it's really stupid how like Orochimaru goes from being like this really scary force to like he is literally absorbed at the beginning of Shippuden. Like, when you start watching Shippuden, he just gets absorbed by Sasuke, just absorbs him. Kind of like how Naruto has the nine-tailed fox inside of him. Sasuke has Orochimaru inside of him.
Yeah, he's kind of a lame villain once the series goes on and you are introduced to more and more interesting and dangerous villains. And on the whole, he's just not. He's just
he also employs the worst Naruto villain of all time, which is Kabuto.
Kabuto, yeah.
Just fuck Kabuto.
Yeah, fuck Kabuto. But yeah, on the whole, he just doesn't like the Leaf Village. That's basically his thing. Like, he wanted to be Hokage, they didn't want him to be Hokage, and he was just like, well, fuck you guys. I'm gonna fuck your shit up now. So yeah, I think C tier as a whole.
I agree with that.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Next we have Marik from Yadamu. Yu-Gi-Oh!
All he wanted to be, well, all his other counterpart wanted to be was the main character.
Yeah,
Or
right.
main character.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel bad for Bakura?
Kind of.
No.
Not really.
You guys don't feel bad for Bakura at all? Man, that's heartless.
He gets his own little stuff later on in the series, so no. I
Oh,
don't.
well, Marik gets it. I would put him at a C for me. Because, like, I think the worst thing he does is he puts My Valentine in a glass case of emotions with sand.
Yeah.
That's like the worst thing he does in the
I
whole
feel like
whole thing.
I feel like he
Honestly, I
did
think
other
D
stuff,
tier.
but like
I don't remember.
I don't remember him on the whole. I know he always threatened to banish people to the Shadow Realm. I don't remember him
But he
actually
never
doing
really
it.
did. Well, Mai
Yeah.
did. She
Mai-
was like, that's what where she was.
Yeah.
I think he did. Didn't he do something to like Bandit Keith?
Yeah, he put him under mind
did.
control. He had like a
Yeah.
bunch of people with under mind control.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
he
he would
did.
do mind control.
But that's like,
Yeah,
I
he's
guess he
C tier
did
because
steal,
he's not
he
better
did steal
than
Pegasus's Millennium Eye.
Yeah,
yeah, he did.
but
do
he's
that.
not better than a villain than Pegasus was in the show.
No, he's definitely not. He's definitely a step down.
C tier.
I think D tier to be honest, but
Damn.
yeah.
No, if we had that kid Noah from the following arc in Yu-Gi-Oh, that's
Oh,
where
that's
he would.
Boruto tier.
That's where that kid
Boruto
would go.
tier. That's some Boruto tier shit.
Yeah.
I take it back. He is D tier.
I think D tier to be honest. I just
All right, next we have Pito from Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter.
So she was freaking terrifying when you first get introduced to her, because she's born.
Yep.
You are introduced to her a little bit within like the Queen Ant's hive.
Yeah.
Anthill, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then, like, when she gets unleashed to show her power, where she just lunges herself from that little castle kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just, like, takes, and then just destroys Kite. Like, just cleanly takes his arm off as he gets Gon and Killua out of there.
Yeah.
And then just completely wrecks Kite, and then she is just absolutely terrifying.
She is terrifying. I'm just trying to think about where I want to even try and put her.
So she didn't really have any master plans. She was just really strong. So I feel like it's
really
a C tier for me.
I think C tier's fine.
Like, she's terrifying, but she never really had that like master villainry plan.
No.
For the most part. But she was definitely like evil, like down to the core for the most part. Except that she did care about the king, and that was like it. But that was all of the royal guard.
Yeah. Yeah, I think C tier's fine.
What do you think, Austin?
C tier's fine.
Okay. And then we have that bitch from Shield Hero.
Oh, fuck that bitch. She sucks. I hate her.
If
What's her
anybody
name?
I don't remember her name. Don't care about her name. She framed the Shield Hero for frickin' rape.
Yeah. She's pretty fucked up.
She is, but she's also really frickin' useless too.
She is also really useless.
But as how much I hated her as a person throughout the show, like as a villain, I want to stick her in frickin' like B tier.
As Multi S Mel Ramark.
Multi? Okay, yeah. That sounds right.
She was awful.
Yeah. She's pretty evil, to be honest.
But she's useless for the most part.
She's useless, but she's pretty evil. I don't know. I guess we just put her where all the other useless.
You know what? No, she
go.
doesn't deserve that. She deserves the Boruto tier for being freaking useless.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing she could do is just call false rape on the shield hero.
Well, yeah, and that's because, yeah, she's lame.
Awful. No, Boruto tier.
Yeah, that's fine. Put her in Boruto tier.
And that leaves us to our final entry. Shou Tucker. Full Metal Alchemist.
Shou Tucker does not deserve an S tier because what he
No,
did
he doesn't.
is not villain worthy. What he did was just really fucked up, really messed up.
He's an asshole. Fuck that dude.
The fact that he is willing to put his daughter into a dog to push his goals forward, and probably did the same thing to his wife.
Yeah.
That's how he got his alchemist license. Like, how the fuck? Like, what is this world? Like, how? And the fact that the wife, like, whenever the first time he did it, it said, "I want to die." He got his license off of that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
The alchemist people suck.
Yeah.
And so does he.
He's awful. I hate him. Shou Tucker. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Honestly, like, that scene still haunts me.
Right.
Whenever he goes in and they're like, "Where's the girl at?" And then you just see the dog sitting there, and you're just like,
and she
"Oh
says,
no,
Edward," and I'm just like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god. Like, that's absolutely terrifying. And
thank God
so
in Brotherhood she gets killed. Like, thank God that because in the original they don't kill her. Like,
no, they just freak out and run out.
Yeah, like in the original, like the one guy, name escapes me, with the X on his face, kills her. Thank God. Thank God.
Oh, Scar.
Yeah, Scar. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trashed here. To be honest, I don't even consider him a villain. He's just an ass.
He's a villain. He's a villain.
He's a piece of shit.
He's a terrifying human being.
I think he's just a piece of shit. I don't even think he's a villain. It's a difference.
I actually want to put him in B tier, because if he was allowed to keep going on, he would have done this to more people.
Yeah, he would have done it.
Keep furthering, like, him having, like, being able to survive and, like, on the way he wanted to. Like, he's awful. He did it to his own fucking wife and child.
He did it to his own. Yeah, he did it to his family. That's disgusting. Ugh.
I say B tier, honestly.
That's
B
fine.
tier.
B tier.
Yep.
All right, and that's the official villain tier list.
Yeah,
I agree with it.
I think I agree with it.
Yeah, nothing on here really screams like I want to move anything. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't really think there's much that I disagree with here.
Maybe move the anti-spiral up to C tier. That's the only thing that really stands out to me that maybe should be moved up.
Yeah, I think that one. Yeah, you could make the argument for that. That's fine.
Boom! It is done.
That's a C tier.
All right, I'm happy now.
Yeah, this works.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. You have it. That is the official villains anime ranking tier list.
Canon. If you disagree, fuck you.
Mark it down. Canon.
Mark it down. Canon.
Austin, thank you for joining us again.
Yes, thank you again, Austin.
Having me.
Feel free to plug all your other projects.
All right, so if you like Disney, me and my two co-hosts, Wendy and Zach, we are the Unbirthday podcast. We just talk about Disney stuff for the month of May. We are doing Star Wars. We're joined by Justin this month for our discussions about Star Wars, and we're gonna have Jared on for when we talk about the last Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Mother of God, I finally watched it, and
you poor bastard.
You keep your opinions to yourself.
I'm not going to mention anything yet. You're going to want to tune in. You're going to want to tune in for this one. I got some hot takes.
That'll be on at the end of the month.
Yep.
I guess.
So that's the current project. That's the current project I got working on. We have me and Justin have an upcoming podcast called Live from Watchtower, which will be going up pretty soon, where we're going to be just talking about DC superheroes.
First one we're talking about is just like the lesser known kind of villains, and then or superheroes and villains, and then Austin and I kind of rattle off what our top heroes and villains are in the DC universe.
So those are my two. So
yeah.
Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you again,
and as
Austin.
always,
thank you.
We will catch you guys next week.
Take care, y'all. Bye.
Bye.